Ireland's lack of sonar forced British Navy to chase Russian sub away from Cork Harbour.
Here's a summary of the article.
A Russian submarine which positioned itself directly outside the entrance to Cork Harbour was chased off by a British helicopter and warship because our depleted navy doesn't have the equipment to detect potential underwater threats. Details of the Russian underwater operation and subsequent British intervention, which took place 6 months ago, have just emerged. Military insiders say the Russians are probing British defence systems as they realise the UK is vulnerable on its western flank because the Irish Navy has no sonar capabilities on the 2 ships that are still operational, meaning they cannot detect what's going on underwater. The Irish Examiner understands the incident with the Russian submarine occurred directly south of the entrance to Cork Harbour. A British Royal Navy anti-submarine frigate arrived in the area to monitor the submarine's movements as the Irish naval ships had no underwater surveillance technology to do this. The Russians have also been testing British air defences off Irish shores in recent years, again in the knowledge that Ireland doesn't have fighter jets to monitor even their old Soviet-era Tu-95 Bear bombers, as our Air Corps planes don't have either the speed or altitude ceiling to get close to them. While there doesn't appear to be any immediate plans to purchase jet fighters, the Department of Defense has confirmed there are plans to provide underwater detection equipment for the Navy.
This post received a score of 3,400, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
For an island nation in the North Atlantic, it's quite surprising that Ireland's Navy isn't already equipped for this. I know it said budget cuts were made decades ago, but sonar detection would seem to be something that should be pretty high on the country's priority list, both for military and civilian, economic reasons.
They rely on the British to defend them. Quite funny if you think about it.
Quite ironic indeed.
Yes, good sir, indubitably.
Lack of sonars. In 2023, when the Russian dictatorship keeps messing around in international spaces, that's worrying. Also worth remembering what Russia was about to do last year. The 25th of January 2022, Russia plans holding official missile tests near the coasts of Ireland in February.
Not just sonar, Ireland doesn't even have military-capable radar. They rely entirely on the UK to inform them when Russia breaches their airspace. Otherwise they'd have no idea that enemy planes were flying over their heads. Britain have been responsible for protecting Ireland's airspace effectively since independence. It was originally a bit of secret arrangement between the governments, but as Irish-British relations have improved, it's pretty much openly admitted now.
I'd imagine you don't want 2 separate air forces doing this in one airspace if you can avoid it. Same goes for the Navy. This happens almost everywhere that 2 countries share a border.
They also don't have any fighter jets. Just a Learjet 45, some choppers and patrol aircraft. So they have arrangement with the UK for defence?
Supposedly there is a secret one between the UK and Ireland, but there are no official defence treaties, either bilateral or like NATO.
Strategically, the UK needs to defend Ireland. Letting a hostile power take them over and use them as a giant floating airbase and vector for invasion of the UK itself is not something that the UK will allow.
While I completely agree with you, it's just hard to imagine someone would actually attack Ireland, let alone invade them. If such a thing happened, NATO would never allow things to progress to the point of invasion. That being said, by allowing Russian to invade Ukraine, I think we made it that much easier for a similar attack in the future. The global community really should have come together to evict Russian forces from Ukrainian territory, just like we did when Iraq invaded Kuwait.
If a serious world war was imminent, the nation that would be most likely to invade Ireland is the United Kingdom. They would do it to prevent a power hostile to them from doing it first.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.